With a warm greetings, I extend my warmest welcome to the talk show Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the talk show organized by Samoja Educational Society on the theme Education 4.0 for Safe, Sustainable Societies. We welcome all the panelists and participants to this episode, Gameology in Education. Here is a small video about Samoja, what Samoja does besides organizing these talk shows. Over to Monica, please.
Samoja Educational Society, established in the year 1991, has completed its gratifying journey of 3 decades. The society was conceptualized with the objective of educating children and preparing them to be morally upright and vocationally independent. Ever since its inception, the society has continued to take tiny steps forward, redesigning the educational fabric in all possible ways through various educational activities, besides conducting social outreach programs like the Girl Next Door and the Charity Wall. Samoja is constantly striving to bring together some of the most ignited minds in the field of education to introduce change in the educational fabric of the nation by providing educational vision, empowering educators, inspiring learners, and elevating various organizations through training sessions, panel discussions, talk shows, conferences, and symposiums. The society has also conceptualized and published periodicals and magazines for students and teachers. Samoja continues to explore new domains, trends, and landscapes to enrich the educators across the country by equipping them to resolve the academic challenges in their classroom to make teaching and learning more joyous and engaging. It also helps educators realize their vision and collaborate with national and international educators to have sustainable societies and a happy nation, thus redefining the paradigms of Indian education. Jai Hind, Namaskar.
Gameology in education. Everyone loves games. If all of us reflect our school days, the start of summer break means purchase of new games, carom board, ludo, snakes and ladders, marbles, trade, chess, and whole lot of comics and novels. Every day during holidays, after writing one page of handwriting, news headlines, weather report, and tidbits of subject-specific homework, we used to sit in groups with friends from neighborhood for playing these games until there is an alarm by the mother or the high alert alarm by the grandmother for the lunch. And after 2 hours, the same ganging, banging used to restart for the games. There were competitive games, cooperative games, team games, family games, and each game taught us a lesson, taught us skills, critical thinking, creative thinking, teamwork, just being on time, otherwise we would miss our turn. And a few years later, the charm of these games was still there, but physical play became the computer games. And presently, endless online games are available. But a lot has changed. Now, the games are Black Powder, Black Sea, Blood Bowl, Game of Thrones, Cruel Sea, and the most popular amongst all age groups is the Candy Crush. No wonder games and toys give us great satisfaction. They have unique significance. With some of the toys, we have the emotional attachment. Sometimes they are the lifetime treasures. The importance of toys and games was evident when Honorable Prime Minister announced the Toy-Kathon, the biggest ever educational fair in the month of February 2021. Under the Atmanirbhar Bharat initiative, Toy-Kathon 2021 was conceived to challenge India's innovative minds, to conceptualize novel toys and games which emphasize on Indian civilization, history, Indian culture, mythologies, ethos. Educational toys were acknowledged by the prize money of worth rupees 50 lakh. I'm sure soon there will be an announcement of Gameathon, and soon a subject, Gameology, will be introduced. Maybe we need to integrate Gameology in our lesson plans, like technology integration, value integration, and art integration. Today, we have with us technology expert, Six Sigma expert, an author, total quality management trainer, who has registered his name in the Limca Book of World Record for developing more than 150 educational apps, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra. We welcome you, sir. Kindly extend the verbal greeting to the audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I welcome everybody for this particular session. Thank you.
I request Monica ma'am to please welcome and introduce our guest.
Thank you. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Welcome once again. We also have with us our charismatic leader, our mentor, the trailblazer of this talk show, Dr. Ashok Pandey, who is known nationally and internationally for his phenomenal work. He is amongst the top 100 leaders of the country, and his hobby is to inspire innovative ideas, and his me time is motivating and guiding educators. Dr. Ashok Pandey, Director, Elcon Group of Schools, and a climate change leader. We welcome you, sir. Please extend the greeting, sir. Sir, you are muted.
Delighted to be in the company of Dr. Dheeraj and you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And without further delay, I'll just start my questions with Dr. Dheeraj. Dr. Dheeraj, as I have shared in the beginning, that there was a time when we were actually engaged with these board games and the physical activities, and there was a lot of learning. Now the time has changed, the types of games have changed. What is the reason that these games which are changing with such the blood sea and all, why there is a change, and how we can develop the games, or how we can create more of the things and integrate it with our school curriculum. Over to Dheeraj, please.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. And thank you so much for this wonderful introduction. I'm really, really happy to be a part of this particular show, Well, as you asked about the integration of technology in education and in entertainment, and it gave a new passage to the learning scenario, which was recoined as edutainment, which is a combination of education and entertainment. Many of the games were there, PS3, PS4, and the integration came through. And then we came up with the Blu-ray disc, the BDs, which we call, which had more than 10 times, the space to occupy the data. And for that sure reason that the technology also improved, and we moved from virtual reality to augmented reality to now artificial intelligence. And all three, four technologies with the march of time integrated with the speed of processing and the virtual environment altogether. And the children were, in a big way, they went through as a part of, getting a magnetized, and with the improved version, they also had a better quality spectrum. Now, as we see the growth of the TV, with LCD to ID based and integration with HD. Similarly, in the field of technology also, we had a wonderful collaboration of technology. And now with the march of time, even virtual reality has come up in academics in a big way. VR in education is no far away. And now we understand to the very factual concern that once upon a time, the games were supposed to be regarded as, negative learning, but today it is positive. Today, we even have integration of games to teach them computational learning, and many of the design thinking and situational analysis. These all things are conducted with the decision making and capacity building of the console-based games have really come up to a great task, and giving them, wonderful learning passage, rather, I would say experiential learning in reality is being made possible.
I do understand you being a technology person. So the answer is more, flavored with the technology, augmented reality, mixed and virtual reality. But there's a lot big chunk in our country where people don't even have the access to internet. So when we talk about some games, of course we would love to listen to you from the that advanced level, but we will also like to know that how we can add you know uh, flavor to our learning through this games.
Yeah, I will be talking in my presentation. I give you a simple touch upon this mark cube, which is a paper made mark cube. It is a printout which I'll be sharing in my presentation, where teachers can scan these. These are various, formats are made here. And when you scan, then you get images and videos being played on your respective mobile phone. So that becomes very easy for the teachers and the children, of course, to integrate their learning. And this is a very, very special, which I've made here out of a printout. You can see the papers there.
Okay.
So this is a very simplest form of, and it may require a very, very small bandwidth as well. So this is one of the examples which I'll be showcasing through the video in my integration.
Okay.
Yeah.
So would you like to share the PPT?
Yeah, I will just.
All right.
Yeah. So first of all, I want to integrate the very learning through the term Gameology, or what we call it edutainment, or the better way of engaging self and the learning. And this has become, in fact, a new tool for the teachers post-corona. It has become of much importance now because of the very, connect and engagement with the students, which was more important than integrating the technology in education. So this came out as the evolved culture within the classrooms. And now when we move to the physical portals, the threshold, once the schools reopen, I'm very sure many schools will still be, occupying that standard of integration. So it talks about gamification, which is an adding of the very environment, which can be website based, online community based, the learning management system being provided by the vendors. And we are much integrated and prepared with the very infrastructure which is available to us. So let me tell you very frankly that it does not require much of investment, only is that there are freeware available and we can download it to that very spectrum. The goal of the gamification is to engage the students, particularly to collaborate, share, and interact. I'll give you simple examples where it has come out as a new concept, which tells about the years past video games, how they were integrated. But now it has a wonderful feature of being an avatar. So the children can make their own character and they can even record their voice where the character can even speak out their language, you know. So there is a recording facility, there is a video facility wherein, you know, you can very well be like an avatar of yours, and that avatar fights that particular game or the steps and it moves further. So this goes with the very spectrum of storytelling for the primary teachers, and also comes out to be a video game integrated with quiz. So that involves the parents, wherein they can do standalone quizzing with the children. And it is basically used with an expectation that the game elements will increase user engagement and thereby result in more learning. So that is the objective. Because otherwise, when I say that games are meant for entertainment, no. Here we are talking of edutainment, which is a combination of education as well as entertainment. And that is what we see in a particular technology. Integration is that we are looking forward, learning through 4 ways of looking, which is either looking inward, looking forward or backward, looking outward, and looking through. So this is somewhat like an out-of-box thinking with a comic relative learning, that this is how we are going to be learning. The first very format is the very spectrum of virtual reality. Now, it refers to computer-generated simulation. As children are well versed, they are visiting malls, they are visiting, you know, various entertainment-based places. And with 100 rupees, they have already experienced with the march of time the very scenario of virtual reality, which refers to the computer-generated simulation in which a person can interact with an artificial 3-dimensional environment using electronic devices such as special goggles with a screen, gloves fitted with sensors. So this is pretty easy. Every XYZ mall you visit, you'll find a corner with you know, so much of integration of virtual reality already being made available. Now this has reached the homes in a big way with the integration, and I shall be discussing some of the wonderful platforms where children can, you know, be a part of it. They can design their own games, and even teachers can design their own games. This was actually created in the late 70s, and it has reached our homes in a best of the possible manner. Also, as the definition, it is into 3 categories, which is non-immersive, semi-immersive, and fully immersive simulation, where they are simulated with the help of the particular screen guard and the gloves and the headsets. They are passed into a different environment altogether, and then they become the party of that gaming, and with the characters they can very well plug in. Then the second part of the gaming is a switch from VR to AR, which is a combination of real scene as observed by the user and a virtual scene created by the computer. So the scenes are augmented to appear one, and that is the beauty. That is the beauty, which is a combination of the real world plus the virtual realm. So suppose I'm able to put a bird on my hand. So that is a combination of a bird which is virtual and my hand is real. So the combination, and with the help of that goggles, probably we are going to be observing the combination of the virtual world and the real world, and it is actually very entertaining. Then it also has a combination of real and the virtual object. It is interactive in the real time, and it registers the real and the virtual objects. coming to this particular example, this is my real hand with a virtual crow. And that's the other, this is my real keyboard with a virtual comic character. So this is a combination being available, and there are various vendors coming and reaching to now to this threshold of the schools to provide this form of a notion of learning within the classrooms. Now, how it happens, I told you initially in the with the beginning of this session about the merge cube. Now, this merge cube is a very, very handy, though very innovative, I would say, a virtual instrument, wherein it's form of a printout where people can just put it across and form it as a cube. And it's a holographic cube for augmented reality made for semi-rigid black silver rubber with many symbols on each side, lightweight and comfortable to hold even for a child. It combines special apps, which allows you to view the live to 3D objects in augmented reality fashion. Now, how it happens is very interesting. See, this is a merge cube, which I showed, and it is of a similar.
The merge cube offers a unique way to interact with augmented reality content. 3D content is linked to the cube and then can be viewed either on the phone or using the special Merge VR headset. Since the launch of the Merge Cube in 2017, we've seen a definite shift towards education. So let's take a look at the top 5 educational apps for the Merge Cube.
Now, these are the 5 top apps available free of cost. We download it and we are able to observe through this cube. Museum Viewer is one of the apps available free of cost at the Google Play Store. Museum Viewer, a collection of historical artifacts. This is to teach and learn about historical aspects. It is all done by scanning this particular cube. Again, a wonderful entertainment plus learning. Then this is the another app, Galactic, which talks about geography. Now, these apps can be downloaded along with a printout to be taken of this merge cube made in the form of a cube. Reno Bigger is another app. Allows archaeology themed app. And these are all moving characters with video.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more of the best of AI.
Okay. So this was the merge cube, which is described by its developer as the hologram you hold in your hand. Right? And when I try delivering the learning out of it, we integrate it with the very notion of expecting to try to have it in different format. This is the very way it is being scanned by the children, and see how happy they are when they scan this. scope, where they can learn in a playway method using the merge cube.
Destroying all this. Are you spelling the world? No, I'm just destroying. Is it hard to control? Yes. Oh, you know you could use recon. I'm just one of all the stuff.
Okay, so this is the merge cube. You take a print of it, just Google the term merge cube, and you'll be able to get a printout. On the right side, you can see the paper cube, and you just fold it and you get this particular square, right? And once you get this square, you can just read each side using that particular app, which I have listed. I'll list them again. And you can take a print and make a merge cube. So every teacher or every student can make a merge cube so very easy. You have to just take a printout of the merge paper cube and just cut it across and fold it and paste it, and this is all done, right? Once the merge cube is in your hand, you can take a mobile phone, download that app, and scan it on all the areas. Every area, every side of that particular cube has, I won't say exactly a form of a QR code, but there are special codes which allow them to get further. This is the relative manner. This I have done it for you. I'll just showcase it. Now, friends, this is my cube, and I'm able to rotate it here. I have made it, and now I'll be utilizing it as a part of my
We can't see it, Dheeraj.
you can't see module. Is it clear, ma'am?
Yeah, now it's
Now,
visible.
friends, this is my cube, and I'm able to rotate it here. I have made it, and now I'll be utilizing it as a part of my augmented module. And this merge cube is described, as you know, by its developer as the hologram you hold in your hand. It is a foam cube with different designs on each side. When held in front of your device's camera while using a variety of merge cube apps, right? So we are able to get to the digital 3D objects and the screens. So we can move and rotate the cube in your hand to see the things from different angles, and it's truly an amazing experience. So we shall try doing it using one of our apps, and we'll try exploring it. Yeah, so here is the use. Yeah, I'm holding my mobile. So this is the magic cube over here, and I'm able to scan it, and when I bring my phone along with this software, so the software is aligned there. I close it, I open it. This is the part. So Mr. Body is one of the applications here, a part of that software which I've got it loaded, and here it is able to scan. So the name of the app is Explorer. I click it here, it says Explorer Merge, welcome to Merge Explorer, and I'm able to execute it, load it, and the cube is in front of me, you can see, and now it's ready for execution. So the objective is there are three options here: start free trial, restore purchase, and skip. So skip is not that visible, but we have to press it. And here we have, say for example, the solar system explorer. So we'll just click on the solar system, and it says about galactic explorer beside the sun and the planet. So we have the first activity here. We'll just
in this experience, tap on individual planets to expand them and see more information. Take your time to explore. Read the pop-up information panels about all the objects you come across.
Okay.
How many moons can you find?
So for 6 to 8, we can have some activity, and then at the same time, we just go back to, check on this. It says when I hold it in my hand, see that the square goes moving, and these are all the data. I hold this cube in my hand and I'm having the fun of augmented reality. You can see how innovative it is. How innovative, right? So I'm able to hold it in my hand. It has all the pictures, it has the definition, talks about the sun, and when it gives you the value of the sun, and I'm able to click on to get to know more about the distance, the relation period, rotation period, and other things. And then when I rotate on ground, I get to more information. Then I move again back to my another spectrum: Mr. Body, A Frog's Life, Water and Weather, the Food Web, the Rock History of Earth. For example, there's an activity here, so we'll just go to that activity, the rock history, and I have the cube in hand, so I'm able to understand about the water, rock, about the million years old and the things. So this is about the initiation and how augmented reality can explore in the classroom as well. So this is a list of apps available for the Merge Cube. And the first one is the party games for Merge Cube, Mr. Body for Merge Cube. Then we have Cube Paint AR. Then we have Dino Digger for Merge Cube. Then we have Mystical Moon for Merge Cube, Holo Globe, Elemental Order, Wooble Wooble, Rubik's Cube Augmented, Things for Merge Cube, Dig for Merge Cube. So these are all activity-based applications available at the Google and the iOS Play Store, and teachers can download these apps, and then they can always scan this particular Merge Cube, and it becomes a wonderful fun activity. And each of these applications have lessons, and the platforms, the content is uploaded, and it is compatible for all the classes, including pre-primary, primary, to middle school, and to the junior school. So this is a great fun for the teachers as well as for the students, and learning is done in the most practical manner. Even children are, very easily, they are compatible to taking a printout and making a merge cube. And this brings a wonderful form of a gameology in education. Then apart from that, of course, this scenario is coming up together with an engagement of students, developing their skills for the modern world. Of course, as one of the researchers rightly says, that AR allows people to add digital content to printed material, geographical locations, and even objects. And that we have already seen how the QR codes are coming up as an add-on. Even our books are having QR codes. So children can scan the QR code and immediately, they are connected to the world. So this is the virtual reality integration, which I come again to share. Now, also as a special mention, I want to have an integration for a few platforms which provide edutainment as well. Out of them, we have been using Kahoot. So I did not, add Kahoot because many of us are already using Kahoot, which involves so much of entertainment, edutainment, activities. Seesaw is another student-driven learning platform, which is actually a good alternative for Kahoot, as it saves a lot of time and helps them create the finest work. So this was a part of the special mention. And this is how teachers are using Seesaw world over with a very
I love when that light bulb, that aha moment happens. When they've been working really hard and all of a sudden that light bulb goes off and they just, that click of, oh, I get it now.
I'm looking for new ways to engage my students every single day. Seesaw, hands down, is the best thing that has ever happened to any of my third grade classrooms. Whether it's math, writing, social studies, in art class, in music class, it works for everything. There's so many different ways that a student can create.
They can take pictures, they can do drawing, they can record, and then have to go a step further and explain their thinking in a way that really cements the learning.
Seesaw helps me because it gives me that immediate feedback of how the kids are doing. It helps me find those misconceptions in their lesson and then the following day to reteach those concepts that were missed.
The Seesaw Activity Library is a go-to almost every single day. I love that I can get so many different ideas for activities that I could use right there in one spot. Students love Seesaw. They get very proud of their portfolio and they like to share it with other people.
I saw that. I was at work at a meeting and my little notification popped up. I use the Seesaw Family app both at home and at work. It really helps me give an insight of what Ava is doing, not only in class, but also the way that she's thinking and her process, and I think that's priceless.
I love how Seesaw really allows me to get to know my students on a deeper level. They don't always want to stand up or raise their hand to talk in class, but I feel like Seesaw really allows them to open up and shine.
So this is Seesaw. Then we have a wonderful platform, which is Acadly, which is one of the best free alternatives to Kahoot, which offers best management of tools for quizzes, live in class, and polling, which is equally important, question answers, analytics, attendance. So it's an absolute unique course structure that facilitates techniques in education. That's Adley. And then we have Brainscape, which is the world's smartest flashcard based platform. It allows the users to learn faster, almost twice as it stays on their mind longer. Now that particular curiosity was there, so I thought of sharing this video as well, which talks about rise to your challenges. A unique platform indeed.
We all wish we could learn as fast and efficiently as possible. But research shows that we actually forget more than 90% of what we learn while studying. It doesn't have to be that way. Brainscape has created a web and mobile platform that allows students and teachers to collaboratively create smart flashcards using the most comprehensive and scientifically proven study system ever. Brainscape's secret sauce is the way it breaks complex concepts into their atomic building blocks and delivers them in a platform customized to your pace of learning. We call this process confidence-based repetition. Brainscape optimizes your study time by focusing most on your low confidence areas, while not wasting time on the concepts you already know well. This system of knowledge curation helps you learn exponentially faster than traditional study methods. With Brainscape, it's easy to make or find great smart flashcard decks and to magically synchronize them among all your friends and devices, and then study them in the most effective way possible. So sign up for Brainscape.
This is Brainscape, and then we have an integration of VR coming together and some of the tools for virtual reality, which is again very, very interesting. So the first tool for virtual reality for the teachers and for the students, wherein they can make their own games and be a party to them, is the Unity, which is the famous game development platform, and it helps you build your VR solutions in adding some more sectors too, which can create VR solutions. And apart from that, we have the Amazon Web Server based Amazon Sumerian, which is a VR engine from AWS. And you don't need to be a 3D graphics or a VR programming skilled expertise to develop it. And that's so very easy, all menu based, it can be done better. Then we have Google VR developer portal. So many of the students have already done wonders with ATL Labs integration. So here the technology giant Google allows us to develop some VR development platforms here. and that gives a great experience to the classroom buddies. Then we have Unreal Engine 4, which is UE4, which allows a powerful set of VR development tools. And of course, some special mention for platforms already there. And it works for various VR platforms, and one of the most open and advanced real-time 3D creation tools. And let me tell you, children have already developed so many in this particular platform, right? It works wonders. Then we have Achieving Your Vision through Cry Engine, which is again a game developing tool, and through the VR capacity, and some of the various applications which work from this particular platform include that of PlayStation 4 and the Xbox. So that's a wonderful development program for the students and even teachers without much of programming skills. Let me tell you, only thing is what is required is intelligence and your creativity. So this is a wonderful platform wherein you can achieve developing VR-based game for the classroom learning. Then we have Blender, which is an open source 3D creation suite, and it's free. And of course, there is a latest version available as well. So it's an independent organization for probably learning outcome. And then we have 3ds Max, which is a modeling and a rendering software from Autodesk. It can be used for visualization, creation of video games, and further add-on. Then we have SketchUp Studio, which is again another 3D modeling tool focused for the construction, particularly on view. So many creative minds, you know, they develop games looking at the architectural preface as well. Then we have Maya, which is a very, very powerful platform for the software development, and it helps you create images, characters, animations, motion graphics, and all comes with a wonderful tutorial available on YouTube for all these platforms. So I would suggest that you can always go for their tutorials available on YouTube and implement the platform in the best of the possible ways. And finally, we have Oculus, which is a wonderful provider for the VR platform to get some relative learning with the name of Medium as a virtual masterpiece. And that's all from my end, ma'am. And I'm very, very excited to hear for any questions from the audience. Thank you.
Monica, we can have some questions from the audience. Yeah. By the time I still have a lot of questions with me.
Yeah, most welcome.
The first thing which you have made my doubts clear, that there are n number of apps which are free. I always had the tension that now we have to pay for it. And in one of the sessions with Dr. Sija, I was actually arguing that I have to pay. So you have made that thing very, very clear. Now, the way you are saying about the merge queue and the app, so that means we need an independent mobile phone for a child where all the apps need to be downloaded, and all these merge cubes we must have. Like we have the library of books, we should have the library of merge cubes along with the dedicated mobile, which will have all the...
Yeah, we have to have a library of applications. It can be used.
Dheeraj sir, kindly check the audio, please. Dheeraj sir, we can't hear you. Can you hear us? Monica, please send a text.
You're muted.
Dheeraj sir, can you hear us?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something wrong with his audio. He's unmuted, but he can't be heard.
So
I think he's joining again.
So by the time I'll come back to you, Ashok sir, like being a technology person, Dheeraj has given us lot of ideas how to create games. But when I was visualizing, I was actually thinking of the games where as a team I can work, whereas I learn to collaborate. Will you please share something, because you have so much of the experience and wisdom and working in the system, how these games we can add in our education, in our system, to enhance learning? Whatever technologically Dheeraj has conveyed, that's all independent. I think a good chunk of it, the teachers, they have learned or they have heard in the technology session also. So I think teachers, they are expecting a little more beyond that. Over to Ashok sir.
Yeah, thank you, Muktaji. I'm very sorry Dheeraj is not able to connect. I wanted to compliment him for the knowledge and information that he has shared.
Yes.
And his presentation only establishes one thing, that there is a lot to learn from the field of gamification or gameology, as you call it. Dheeraj, can you hear us?
I can hear you, sir.
Okay, back. So I first complimented, I don't know you heard it or not, for your beautiful presentation. And then in between, Dr. Mukta has thrown a googly at me. Actually, you should have answered it. But let me try and then I'll come back to you.
Okay.
You see this whole digitized gamification. It is intended at improving perseverance, critical thinking, decision making, teamwork. The whole idea is that how you develop those skills and problem solving. And problem solving, not only the problems which have known solutions, but also unknown solutions, because we are moving into a world where the nature, scope, and the possibilities are becoming very, very uncertain. But in relation to the question that Dr. Mukta has, I want to share a small anecdote. And only this morning, this message, I'm sure Dheeraj must have got this message, that National Mental Health Institute organized one athletic meet recently. And 8 boys started running at the sound of the pistol. And barely had they moved 15 to 20 steps, all of them found that one of the participants was missing. And they all looked back and they came back and they found that one had fallen on the ground and he was in pain and he was crying. Now, all of them comforted him, did something, lifted him up, and then all 8 of them ran together and they reached the finish line at the same time.
Yeah.
Now, what do you call this game? Right? And this is the game that teaches the teamwork, the equality. There is no loser and there is no winner, and empathy and whatnot. I mean, you tell anything, any skill, and that is embedded in this particular incident. Now, probably what Dr. Mukta wants to know is that in these digitized games, do we have a scope for this? Because generally the complaint has been that these games are very, very personalized and they are very self-centered. And in fact, now there is a lot of improvement, but when it began all, 10 years ago, I think these games were very, very violent and aggressive in nature.
Very true.
And one research suggested that children were becoming very isolatory, aggressive, violent characters, right? And I think the game-based companies made a change and things like that. So I think things are moving, Dr. Muktaji, and improvements are taking. But I have a personal feeling, because I'm not a native digital game expert like Dheeraj. I'm a migrant sometimes, I'm a refugee sometimes, and therefore I still have a lot of faith in the physicality of meeting and discussing and creating games and all that. But now that we are in a virtual world, we cannot wish that we will always have those kinds of games, and we will refuse to learn from them. And therefore, the prescription is that we have a very robust system of selection, implementation, curation, and then integration into our curriculum. I think that's the way forward, in my opinion.
That's very true. I mean, we cannot expect all the students living in, all the children, I must say, in India, and all the teachers, they are doing only games through technology. We need to have, a little more beyond this. So Professor Chaudhary is with us. Professor Chaudhary talks a lot on values. Sir,
Namaskar, sir. Namaskar.
Professor Chaudhary. Sir, you need to unmute yourself.
No, I was just listening with rapt attention to what Dheeraj was saying, and our association goes back 12 years. I think I'm fond of saying that technology cannot be avoided. Good or not so good, positives and negatives. And it's entirely up to us whether we use the positive aspect of it or the negative aspect of it.
Sir, आज games सुनाइए, games कैसे हम उसमें add कर सकते हैं?
And two, I agree. At the same time, I think when Dheeraj is talking about gamification, he's really talking of net-based, technology-based, electronic-based. Sometimes, if I may say, more individual-based, as Ashok sir rightly said, I think the industry is evolving. And we will have team games. It will come in. At the same time, the first time I played a game was in 1982, a management game. And again, gamification has been used for management and simulation and something very close to it. At the same time, what we did find, and there was a lot of research on it again, it was just the beginning probably, that there does exist a gap between a simulation and real life. And however much we try to do it, let's say, for example, there's a game which we use for assessing motivation levels and enhancing motivation levels. And we found that the moment personal money gets involved, the decision-making changes. So that's going to be the next step probably as to how do we really get the real-life emotions involved in the games. And I think it's an industry which is there to prosper. It has huge potential and has a lot of scope for education per se.
Definitely, scope is there, but as a educator, I mean, there are more than 90 teachers are with us. So when I visualize these games, are we visualizing that there will be additional expenditure on the part of the management, the school, the teachers? Now, teachers, they have to have, one a particular mobile with loads of apps on it, and those a bag full of merge cubes. I mean, this is what we are visualizing when we move to the classroom. Dr. Sija, I think I would like to have the answer from you.
Good evening, everyone. I don't know the answer which you are saying regarding the bag full of
merge cubes.
Full of merge cubes or any other technical devices, you name it. But practically all such can be occupied in let me say 3mm by 3mm chip. So there is no bag load, whatever you may say. Yes, okay. Since there are variety of the app which are they're going to be on the digital platform, one needs to expose. I fully agree with Professor Chaudhary that games are not new. Please accept it. He played in 1982 and I played in 1983 when I went for my Army Education Corps in Allahabad. we were asked to play that this is a war game. So it is a part of this. Only thing is, it is now digitalized. I slightly disagree with Dr. Shok Pandey. It is not a virtual world. It is a real world. Simulations are equally important. You cannot land somewhere in space if you are not trained for that, because that's a totally alien environment. So you have to get ready with this. My only humble right now at this moment would be, when there is an explosion of information, when there is too much availability, pick up whichever is best. People like Dr. Dheeraj, people, those who are expert in this field of technology, they share a few selective platforms, you say, learning management systems, you say, whatever you want to call it. Based on that, you decide what are your needs, what are your requirements, and which one best suit in your environment. Slowly on that platform, you grow further with the development on everyday basis. Technology, rightly said, cannot be avoided. These are the children who are born when their mother was having a iPad at their home, in their hands. When Abhimanyu learned everything from being in the womb of mother, these children also have learned everything. So they are well tech savvy than you and I can imagine this one. So technology will
One
remain
more question, sir. One more question. Like we have some principles also with us, right? So once we talk about this virtual reality, augmented reality, naturally the infrastructure needs to be added in the school as well. So if I am visualizing a school, say of 2,000 students, and I am planning as a principal, I am planning to add on the what you call the headset or the goggles. So what do you feel the way we need to integrate this in our system? How many should be there? And just give me the minimum amount, minimum number.
Time has come when there is no need for the physical infrastructure. It is the cyber infrastructure or the technical infrastructure which has to be developed. However, there is so much, changes every day happening. I often say you open the carton and the hardware is outdated, and you click on the software and software is outdated. So you have to maybe have a collaboration with the players in the field of technology, who not without much expenses, they share with you the latest technology, and this would carry on. Secondly, the way common man is going ahead with the smartphone, with the headset and everything, probably time will come that instead of carrying the books and all, children will carry their own gadget and you don't need to provide. And you never know tomorrow, these gadgets are not at all required. Maybe, there is an aura which a teacher creates and everything is visible in the three-dimensional space. So very difficult to say what is the minimum technological support required in a school. To begin with, whatever in the timetable, you can go ahead, carry on. Next step, collaborate with the people. Third, wait for the newer invention. You may not require any tech set at all.
Sir has answered me, beautifully. Dr. Pandya, I'll come back to you. You are, dealing with a lot number of students, and suppose you need to give, you wish to give that experience of virtual learning, or, the gaming or whatever to the students. So what do you feel that you need to equip the teachers as well as students with something? What exactly should be there? Should be one gadget, 2, 3, 4? I mean, the minimum, because we are having the principals and the teachers from 2, 3 category of schools, I must say. So instead of just talking and talking, we must have, you add this and you will actually bring a lot of difference in your organization. Please share something, sir.
So I think what you are talking about is a policy matter, right? You're hinting at policy of, let us say, integration of educational technology. More particularly, let us say, gamification here. So for that, 5 or 6 things are required. Very briefly, number one, you have to have a very clear vision. That what is your vision of that integration of particular technology to maximize the learning outcomes? And then you have to unify all the stakeholders, okay? The top leadership, the teacher, the students and parents. So that is the vision, clear that vision first. Then how open and how, committed and invested the top leadership is, that is the management, okay? The third is teacher agency, their beliefs, their practices, their values, So you will not find in all the circumstances that the teacher agency is there and they can immediately grasp and embrace and adapt, and their value system will align with the technology integration. That will not happen. So that is the 3 things. And then, the learning, professional learning, that is very important. So you have brought the vision, the leadership is committed, you have made the investment, teachers are ready, but still you have to create platforms for their learning, right? And unless they learn how to embrace it and how to integrate it and how to implement it, that will not happen. But the last 2 things are very important, which I hinted earlier, that selection of the technology is very important. And I think that is the bane of ed tech sector in this country, that we just don't know which technology is good for whom, for which environment. And the second bane is, even if we get people like Dr. Harish Chaudhary and Dheeraj and Dr. Hasijan, and we know which technology to do, then it's implementation and post-implementation monitoring, progress, impact analysis, feedback. Those things don't happen. And that is why in the absence of this holistic approach to integration, we have different kinds of experiences. Some of us say, no, we succeeded. Some of us we say failed. Some of us we say, no, there was no return on investment and it was a huge investment and gone waste. So I think that is what is to be kept in my mind as far as I am concerned.
Thank you, sir. Point well taken. I think all the speakers, they are pinpointing that selection of technology and the policy, and then training the teachers. Professor Chaudhary, you have raised the hand. Do you want to say something? Yeah.
I'll just go back to the way computing came into the school, so the history of it.
Yeah.
And at this point of time, there's going to be some confusion, there'll be some constraints, but maybe the edtech companies, which are, some of them are very well funded, could come out with a model. The way computing began, if I see the 3-4 phases of computing, 1984 December, we had the first desktop coming in India. And then was some organizations who set up computer labs in the school, who ran those computer classes, who charged the students individually who wanted to participate. It was kind of outsourced. And slowly as the culture grew, the computer labs got set up, the teachers got trained, and they have picked up on their own. So maybe Dr. Mehrotra could help us understand whether there could be some organizations which could set up these, if I say AR, VR labs at the schools, run it, contract it. There is a hierarchy of payment possibilities. Initially, it may be for the schools, the high-end schools where money is not a concern. The students will be charged something extra for these classes. They could be more hobby-oriented. And slowly, as the culture gets in, it will percolate downwards. And as Dr. Seja rightly said, there will be a time when the costs will really, really shoot down.
If I can answer sir's reflections, Mukta ma'am, if
Yes,
I can.
please. Yes, please.
Yeah, I think the schools can very well contact their existing digital vendors. In any case, we are running some content development, party with the handshake. So they can be told about it, that the upgraded version can be AR based or VR based. And in any case, we are compatible to the existing scenario of the whole IT setup. And we are looking forward to a new world where children will be coming with BYOD, bring your own device. So that is what the independent.
What's that? Bring your?
BYOD. BYOD is bring your own device. So this scenario is pretty active all around the world now. In many of the Indian schools also, where children, of that level, they are already bringing it. So that is an independent 6,000 rupees wala app tab, minimum. And that can very well house all the digital content and very well have all the applications, and children can work at ease. So many of the companies have even partnered that they are going to be selling this in bulk to the students. So the parents, instead of investing for their heavy bags and books, they can even very well invest in EMI format on these platforms, on these devices, and then the BYOD version can become a reality where children can come with the device and they can very well explore it. As you can see in the videos, children are all using their devices to read or scan the merge cube, and it was made possible. So probably that learning can be done. In any case, there is always a handshake with the vendors. So principals or school owners can talk to them that next time when you're going to be, partnering too. So please bring more of technology. With the existing EMI only, we can talk about it. And everything is compatible with what we already have in our classrooms, the digital platforms. So that can very easily be done. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really enjoyed the discussion. I'm sure all the teachers have also enjoyed the discussion. Points well taken. Still, a lot of questions are with me, which I think we can always have another session on. Again, my problem is that I always want to economize the thing, how I cannot, but how I should not burden the management as well as the parent. Right, but still evolve. So I'll keep on troubling Dr. Hasija, Dr. Dheeraj, Professor Chaudhary, and Ashok sir. And every time, like, I'll come more and more and more of the questions. With this, like, thank you so much. It was really time का बिल्कुल पता नहीं चला, जबकि मैं अक्सर time देखती रहती हूँ, and my mentors, they just check out. Mukta is looking at the time. Thank you. Ashok sir, thank you
very much,
Professor Chaudhary, thank you Dr. Sija, and lovely friend Dheeraj, thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to Kriti ma'am for the formal vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Gamification provides fun tools for micromanagement. Good evening to one and all present here. I would like to express my gratitude to all esteemed delegates of the talk show Education 4.0 for their presence and contribution to make this episode of the talk show a great success. Thank you, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra sir, for deliberating on the topic Gameology for Education for Safe and Sustainable Societies. With your expert guidance, give us a real insight and motivate educators to design their future path. Some pointers: games were negative, but now they are integrated with our subjects. One can make use of games available online to make online classrooms more creative. To use Merge Cube, you can take the printout from Google and download the apps like Think for Merge, HoloGlobe, Mr. Body for Merge app, and many more. And let your children explore their lessons digitally. Use of QR code can be added in class planning. Some apps can be used like Seesaw for making games, Brainscap for making flashcards, and at the end of the day, it's your selection of technology, intelligence, and creativity that will help you to make these apps useful in your class. I extend my gratitude to Honorable Dr. Ashok Pandey sir, Dr. Rajesh Hasija sir, and Dr. Harish Chaudhary sir for taking out time from their busy schedule to grace the event and sharing your thoughts. Also, I would like to thank Dr. Mukta Mishra ma'am for providing immense support to make the talk show successful. I must thank the team Samurja and Monica Khanduja ma'am for making and working hard every day for us. Thank you, everyone. Namaskar.
Namaskar.
Thank you, Dr. Dheeraj.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Such a pleasure, sir. Thank you. Thank you very much. All my gurus on one platform.
Thank you.
I'm honored.
Thank you, Dr. Chaudhary, Dr.
Thank
Hasija.
you, Harish sir.
Bye-bye.
Thank you, Asija
Thank
sir.
you.
Thank you,
Thank
Panta
you.
sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you very much.